From the Boston Bruins, we have head coach Bruce Cassidy. Media, please raise your hand if you have a question. We'll start with Stephen Conroy from the Boston Herald.
Hey, Bruce, what were your general impressions of that performance? Was it a big enough step forward? What were what was the most encouraging thing, and what was the most concerning thing?
Well, we pushed back, certainly, stayed in the game, clearly generated more offense tonight than we have in other games more consistently. Didn't finish well, but around the net a lot. 5-on-5, our power play is still a work in progress. Krejci's line, I thought, looked comfortable together, scored a goal, obviously, but, played well, had their legs, made some plays. Andre was good on the walls. Obviously the 2 goals we gave up, again, correctable. One we had on our stick and got a little surprised there. And the other one, I don't know, Tuukka came out and played at that. Only he can decide that. But at the end of the day, we're just a little late on the pinch. So certainly things we can correct, but it's not like it was a breakdown through the middle of the ice all night, not all night, like with the Tampa game or the slot coverage. Certainly Washington's a good offensive team, but I thought we were much better on both sides of the puck. We just, again, didn't win.
Next one, Kevin DuPont, Boston Globe.
Bruce, is that standard checklist for playoffs in terms of, power play, secondary scoring, health, all of that? What stakes do you feel you do have in the ground here going into series with Carolina?
Well, we got better defensively against good offensive teams, Tampa and Washington. So we tightened up there structurally. I thought we got through the neutral zone well the last few games, better offensively. So that's starting to come. The guys that have been there, obviously those stakes will always be in the ground. You look at our top line, they've been held off the score sheet. And I believe that it's going to be a tough task, for Carolina to do that on a consistent basis. I think that, those guys will be able to get their game going, but we're going to need that primary scoring for one. And maybe some of that will come to life in the power play. But anyway, I liked our compete today. That's the other thing. I mean, you're not going to win the playoffs. You're not competitive. So, that part are generally healthy through these 4 games. So got some guys, some much needed work that missed camp. So those are the positives.
Mike Loftus, Patriot Ledger.
Bruce, the third line, your impressions of that? They had their chances. It was interesting that they seemed to come off rushes.
Yeah, I mean, Bjork was in a couple times. That one sequence of plays, Rich, has two looks and he hits the Washington defenseman who's down on the ice. So, on next time, will he take the extra second, get it up, or go in the first time? I don't know. But those are some pretty good looks. I thought defensively they didn't get in a lot of trouble. Richie's good at holding pucks down low, so the cycle play should be good once him and Charlie get their, sort of chemistry down. And but no, I was fine with them. Like I said, I thought Krejci's line had some jump. I thought, Marsh had some looks there in the third period, as good as he's looked so far was in the third. Crowley's line, they gave us secondary scoring earlier. They had a tougher time tonight getting going, finding pucks in the O-zone. But even Nordy had a good look off the wing. So, it was spread out. We just we didn't finish.
Mike Petraglia, CLNS.
Bruce, I'm wondering what you thought about your blue line, and how they contributed to offensive scoring threats today. It seemed like, especially Connor Clifton was in there early, provided some jump, and I'm curious to get your impression on how important that will be against Carolina.
Well, in today's game, it's 5-man attacks, or at least 4, so the D have to be involved. Got to be a little bit careful with Washington. They got some guys that'll sneak behind you, so you don't want to sell the farm by being up on the play when it doesn't look like a good solid concrete rush. So that's what you guard against Washington. At the end of the day, I'd have to look back on it to see exactly where we contribute. I just looked like there was some good looks as the game went on from the point in terms of getting pucks through to the net for shots and tips. specifically the third period. They seemed to open up some lanes for themselves. So, yeah, I know Charlie will be up the ice when opportunities arise. I mean, he was in all alone with Holtby in the second period. You know, might be a save that changed the game. So some good stuff there. Cliffy, he'll get involved. He's not gun shy about getting involved in the rush. You know, you don't want him reckless, but so there was some good things. Brandon Carlo had some good shots early on. Unfortunately, we didn't get traffic or the right tip. So there was, again, positives there.
We'll do two more for Coach Matt Porter, Boston Globe.
Bruce, the fourth line didn't really seem to have it today. They didn't really seem to get going, all of them under 10 minutes. What did you see from them? Why do you think they weren't able to get on track?
Yeah, not a lot of puck possession in the O-zone to sort of give them some life when they did. It sort of ended quick. Lost to Sean wasn't great in the face-off circle, so you're starting without the puck, and they're typically out there against good players. So that probably had a little something to do with it.
Last one, Steve Conroy. Steve, if you have a follow-up.
You talked about Clifton there. Did he do enough today to create a more difficult decision for you on that third year?
Again, we'll look at it closer, but yeah, I mean, Cliffy's a guy that he's not afraid of the moment. You know, it keeps lefty righty. It's a smaller pair with him and Grizz, but we saw it last year. Played well at times against good teams. So we were certainly not afraid of that look. We can certainly move people around to balance the size aspect, but I guess to answer your question, I don't know yet, Steve, if it's going to be Lozon, Clifton. Johnny Moore is another guy we know can play. We looked for the balance and size with Grizz with the Lozon pairing. You know, I think Jeremy's been okay, but like when he first came to us, it's, you know, some repetitions for the bigger guys take time. So do we have that luxury or not? So we'll have to make that decision in the next few days.